Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Thursday morning to you all. Hope you guys are waking up and feeling good out there this morning and having a wonderful start to your day. And I hope everyone's been having a great week out there so far. You know, it's been a pretty active week as far as the weather with tracking this powerful storm system that's swept across the entire lower 48. You know, some people are still experiencing some moisture from this system. We're still getting some gusty winds across the eastern U.S., but the worst of it is now done. And we will be completely done with this system by the time we are waking up tomorrow morning. But there is a couple other storm systems to speak on that's impacting the western U.S., starting to move into the central U.S. right now. We're going to talk about that right off the dot, and then we'll speak on a smaller system to the south that will bring a little bit in the way of some accumulating snow for areas of like New Mexico, even the panhandle of Texas, Oklahoma, maybe a little bit of snow even into southwest Kansas and southeastern areas of Colorado. We'll speak on that a little bit. And then all attention goes to a time period for late next week as we are getting incredible model agreement on a powerful storm system, another one for late next work week into maybe next weekend. And I know that's kind of far out. You're probably thinking, well, that's a little bit too far out to discuss. Well, we were discussing this last storm system that's impacted the country this week, several days back, and it ended up coming together. So I think we need to speak on this time frame also that could present another very strong storm system. And yes, I do think the possibility is there for another blizzard. And I do think this could bring an opportunity for more severe weather chances. So we'll speak on everything, and then we'll round off the video with today's forecast. If you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. If anybody has anything that I can pray about or pray over, please put it in the comments below. Not feeling 100% this morning. I wouldn't say that I'm sick. I think maybe some allergies are affecting me. Just a little kind of stopped up, if you will, but kind of congested. So, you know, if you notice I'm not myself in this video, just feeling not 100%, but I am okay. But I do appreciate any prayers if you don't mind praying for me just to feel a little bit better. And hopefully this isn't the beginning stages of getting sick, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So let's get rocking and rolling this morning. So this is what's going on. This is the leftover of this powerful storm system that, like I said, swept across the country. We're getting some lingering rain across the down east areas of Maine. Still, I mean, it's even windy out there, like at my house here in central South Carolina, which is where I live. You know, I woke up and it was still very breezy early this morning, but we still got snow flying around in southern Ontario, areas of the Great Lakes. We got some northwest flow still ongoing. I'm hearing that the snow event down in Tennessee did not really materialize, so let me know what you ended up seeing last night. You always know if something doesn't end up materializing if you wake up and you're not hearing much about it. So I was kind of hoping I was going to wake up, you know, see some videos and pictures of it snowing in portions of eastern Tennessee last night in the Cumberland Plateau, maybe some flurries down the northern Alabama, northern Georgia. Didn't wake up to any of that, so I just don't think it really materialized, and models didn't do the best with it. But let me know what you saw. But this is the next storm system, which is, I mean, already going right now, but I think we're going to get some very heavy snow across areas of Wyoming and then into Nebraska. I think these will be the two states that this will impact the most, especially Wyoming, which is already cranking up right now. But this is a pretty strong storm system. It's just going to weaken instead of strengthen as it continues to move into like the Midwest. But this is what's going on right now. Let's talk about this area right here. So watches, warnings, advisories. The pink is winter storm warnings, and then the purple is winter weather advisories. So you got a mixture of both. And of course, in a lot of these cases out west, everything's microclimate driven due to elevation. So the higher up you are, probably the more accumulating snow you're going to squeeze out of the system. But just about the entire state of Wyoming has some sort of winter weather alerts, and they do kind of ooze into the plains too. So we got winter storm warnings for a few counties in Nebraska, a few areas, and then into areas of southwest South Dakota. And then we got a lot of warnings across the Central Rockies, the Southern Rockies, and even down to the Sierra Nevada. So this is starting to get going right now. Winter weather advisories even stretch all the way to Des Moines. We'll see if any more get issued. But just, you know, taking a look at this storm system, we'll start off this morning. Snow's already falling across areas of the high plains. We start to make our way into this afternoon. Snow gets much heavier across the state of Wyoming. We got some snow starting to move into areas of South Dakota, western Nebraska. Snow begins to fall even in southern Montana. I just don't think this storm system is going to get very widespread in Montana. I think most of the moisture stays to the south. But we got this stripe of moderate to heavy snowfall. I mean, some of the snow is going to be falling in areas that just got snow from this blizzard. But, you know, pretty strong low at first, 993 based off this run of the Euro for later on tonight. So, I mean, it's a pretty decent, I would say, strength low pressure initially. But it's snowing pretty good in northern Nebraska, the southern counties of South Dakota, some snow falling in northeast Colorado. Then the snow later on tonight gets all the way into central Iowa. And we could continue to get some moderate to heavy snow across a good chunk of Nebraska. How much snow will you get down to like Lincoln, Omaha? I think the jury's still out. In fact, I'll show you some snowfall maps. There's definitely some uncertainty there. But you know, this begins to weaken. You see it goes to a 996, but we still get some accumulating snowfall in areas of Iowa, and we could get a period of snow tomorrow morning into Chicago, northern Illinois, southern areas of Wisconsin, and then this continues and could get a little bit of snow tomorrow evening into like northern Indiana, northern Ohio, and then southern areas of lower Michigan. We'll have to see what happens with Chicago. I only have maps pulled up as far as the snowfall accumulation all the way to Iowa, so I might show some additional areas on the fly here. But this is snowfall in Wyoming. Big snowstorm. Riverton 8 to 12, Lander 12 to 18. I'm not going to pretend to know. One day I will love to go out to Wyoming, and one day I will, but I'm not going to pretend to know like which areas have the highest population, so I'm not going to try to mention every town. There's a lot of clustered up towns on this map. Casper, though, more of a well-known town and community, 8 to 12 inches of snow. So this is definitely a big one for some areas. So you get down to the Interstate 80 corridor, probably not as much snow, but north of that, definitely a big snowstorm. And then we take it on down to the National Weather Service out of Cheyenne. Hopefully I said that right. But Douglas, 8 to 12. 2 to 3 in Cheyenne, Laramie, 3 to 4, Arlington, 6 to 8. Alliance getting into Nebraska, 8 to 12. Chadron, 8 to 12 inches of snow. Lusk, 8 to 12. Bill, 12 to 18 inches of snow. And then we look at a small section of all of southwest South Dakota. There's a sharp cutoff with this up here. But Rapid City could get 2 to 5. Lead, 2 to 4. Custer, 4 to 6, Hot Springs 6 to 8, down to Martin 6 to 9 inches of snow. So there is a sharp cutoff with this system for sure. And then we head on down into more of Nebraska. I mean, northwest Nebraska, this is going to be a pretty decent quick hitting snowstorm for you guys. Gordon 6 to 10, Valentine 6 to 9. Get down to North Platte, maybe 1 to 3 inches of snow. Sydney 2 to 3, maybe a little bit of accumulating snow, light snowfall accumulations in northeast Colorado. Burwell 3 to 5, O'Neill 4 to 7, and then we look at southeast South Dakota and areas of northeast Nebraska. Sioux City 2 to 4, Sioux Falls maybe an inch or less, but you're right at that fringe of the cutoff. O'Neill 4 to 8, Norfolk 3 to 5. I just don't, once you get up to this interstate corridor here where Sioux Falls is, Mitchell, I don't think you guys are going to get a whole lot of snow out of this. You got to get further south. But then you get down into Omaha, could get nothing, could get 2 inches of snow. Lincoln, kind of the same thing, 0 to 1. Tikama, hopefully I said that right, 2 to 4. Sioux City, I think I already said that, 2 to 4. Ord, 2 to 5. And let's go on and switch it to Iowa. Could be kind of a secondary pocket of snow, heavier snow, but Fort Dodge, I mean, some of these areas already got accumulating snow from this blizzard, but Fort Dodge, another 3 to 5 inches of snow added up to what you already got still on the ground, maybe. You know, Carroll, 5 to 8, Ames, 2 to 4. Des Moines right now going for as high as an inch, but not a big event, I think, along the Interstate 80 corridor. Davenport, 0 to 2 inches. Now, you know, I don't have a map for, say, like northern areas of like Illinois, but let's try to pull up something here to try to help you guys out, because I know I got some loyal viewers in this area. Let's see if we are in range of this area. So it is calling for a little bit of snow. I know it's kind of hard to see on your screen, but there is a swath of a little bit of snow in northern Illinois, for example. They're going for around an inch or two in Chicago from this storm system. Rockford, kind of the same thing, and a little bit of accumulating snow into maybe Ann Arbor, south, really southwestern areas of lower Michigan, maybe a half an inch to an inch and a half from the National Weather Service. So I do think you could get a stripe of accumulating snow through this area. So, I didn't want to completely leave you guys hanging here. And then there's going to be another system after this. So as we're getting into Friday afternoon, as this system's heading on out into Saturday morning, another system begins to move in. And we'll stop here. It's around Saturday morning, March the 8th, here in the next 48 hours. We got this low pressure developing, and we got an area of moderate to heavy snow across northwestern New Mexico, southern areas of Colorado, some snow flying around in the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas, a little bit of snow up into, say, southwestern Kansas. And it could become moderate, maybe heavy at times. And, we get into midday Saturday, still some snow in Amarillo up to Guyman, maybe Woodard. And you could get maybe a wintry mix into Oklahoma City, but I do think this will be mainly into the panhandle of Oklahoma. And Texas could be a little bit of a long duration event. For example, it could start snowing before the sun comes up Saturday morning in the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas. And, it could last all the way through. It might be like a solid 24-hour event. I would watch for, as we're getting into Sunday morning, maybe a little bit of a mix of rain and snow along the Red River, north or south. So we'll watch for that. And then that system will continue to kind of move into the southeast. Could bring some rain across the deep south for the later half of the weekend. But snowfall in this area, this is New Mexico. This is between now and 5 p.m. This Saturday, Las Vegas, 4 or 5 inches of snow. Red River, 5 to 6. Roy, about 5 inches of snow. Clayton, 3 to 4. Albuquerque, maybe a half an inch of snow. And then we look at the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas, and this is just between now and 6 p.m. Saturday. Could be a little bit more snow falling after this, but Guyman going for about an inch. Woodard, inch or less. Amarillo, about 3 inches of snow. Dalhart, 4 inches. So a decent little event. I think this will be enough to pop off some winter weather advisories in this area over the next 24 hours. So we'll see what happens. I don't think this will be a huge event, but definitely one to watch. I always like to cover everything. I know I miss a lot of people out west, and I probably have lost viewers out west, but it is true. I really focus a lot on the central and eastern U.S., and there's just so many microclimates out west. And you guys know I take a lot of pride in detail, and I just don't feel like I can get as detailed for out west because there's so many microclimate-driven areas out there. And if I went into all of them, my videos would last for probably 4 or 5 hours. So. But anyways, moving forward, we look at the Euro from last night. All right, we're going to start this Monday morning. We got some rain flying around like it's snow. Rain falling around Monday morning, March the 10th, the beginning of next week. We'll have to watch. That could bring some heavy rain across areas of the southeast. And then we get a quiet period for a couple days. And, we get into next Wednesday and we get into next Thursday. And the Euro does want to show a low pressure developing, and who knows, as we're getting into Thursday, this could bring a little bit of severe weather for areas of the southeast. Low pressure flying to the north, maybe to the south, maybe some severe weather, but we're starting to get now into Thursday evening. I'm backing the wrong way here. And then we start to get into Friday morning. Now, this is over 200 hours out. We got a 986 millibar low ejecting off the Rockies. And it's going to just get a little bit closer here. So that's a pretty strong, ignore all these other L's, really focus on kind of this area right here. So a pretty strong low pressure develops, and then it really attaches to this one right here, 981 low off this run of the Euro. And I'm not just going to show you operational runs. I'm going to show you a blend here of the Euro ensemble, which really supports a stronger low pressure over the middle of the country late next work week into early next weekend. But with a 981 low right here, and then it deepens to a sub 980 low, this would be a blizzard, no doubt, and the cold side. We're probably going to get some severe weather on the warmer side, kind of down here. Main low right here, that's a strong land low pressure. And it cuts across Minnesota. Could this cut a little bit further east? It could. Could it be a little bit further north? It could. But I really think that this could bring a powerful storm system. When you look at this, you think, man, I don't really see anything that's that scary at all. I'm not saying to be scared, but this is definitely a strong storm system between the 7 to 10 day time frame. Okay, so this is next Friday morning, so there it goes. So we'll continue to watch it. Now, the GFS has the same thing. This is getting into 8 days from now, so next Friday morning, March the 14th, and here's a low pressure. And this is even stronger on the GFS, 975 a low. That's very heavy snow, wind-driven snow across the high plains, northern plains, and we start to take it into next, say, Saturday morning. The low is a little bit further southeast, but this would definitely be, on the cold side, probably a blizzard. So if I'm in the high plains, northern plains, up into, heck, maybe even northern Minnesota, I mean, really anywhere in this area, I mean, be on alert for another powerful storm system and one that could produce a blizzard a little bit further north and west. But we don't have this locked down. 975 low going over. Man, this is just a strong low. And then there it goes. It kind of does exactly what the low pressure just did a couple of days ago. And it really kind of recranks up here. And there's just good, I mean, it's just going to be a powerful storm system. You're going to probably have severe weather right into here. I mean, this has that classic comma head look here, that shrimp kind of look. 975 low Saturday morning. I mean, that's a strong low pressure over land that's going to bring all kinds of dynamic weather. See this kind of stripe of green here? That could be a line of severe thunderstorms. And the blues obviously snow. And yeah, it could do some wild stuff. We definitely got to watch out for this storm system. And the signal is there. This is the blend. This combines 51 members together and creates a model run for us. So you're not gonna see 51 low pressures. You're gonna see kind of one dominant low pressure. And say if some of those millibar numbers are 1,000, some of them are 980. You got a mixture of all that, and it blends together and creates a mean average. So this is the main low pressure. It becomes the dominant look here. This is getting into next Thursday, 994 low, popping off the Rockies, and then there it is. So I would say the Euro Ensemble run is a little bit further south than its operational run. I mean, that's a pretty strong storm signal over the middle of the country next Friday. I mean, at 989 low with blended model guidance, that's a pretty strong signal. That tells us that there's a lot of runs in the ensemble that is showing some sort of strong storm system. And I mean, this cuts across the upper Midwest, and yeah. So I mean, that to me, it's a very, very strong storm signal. And if you look at the GFS ensemble, I mean, it's the same thing, guys. That shows a very solid signal for a very strong low pressure right here late next week and early next weekend, and cutting across the Midwest into the Great Lakes region. So this is going to be a powerful storm system. If you look at, say, the moisture return as a low pressure kind of moves over this area, it yanks up to the north, a warm, moist Gulf air out the Gulf. And as this happens here, guys, you can see the kind of the pool of moisture in response. So these are dew points, not temperatures. Dew points in the 50s and 60s begin to rise into the deep south. And, this is just blended model guidance, just the Euro Ensemble run. So it's just going to blend some drier scenarios together with more moist scenarios. But, I mean, you can see how it pulls up this rich moisture kind of next Friday and a Saturday, give or take a day. So you can tell that there's moisture that gets pulled up by kind of the areas in green and dark green and purple in response to this strengthening low pressure. So there's also going to be obviously a big time wind field with this, and we talk a lot on this, and I'll have to pull this up on the fly. And this is about a week out, and you can already tell with this low pressure, this dip in the trough, this trough digging down, you can already see the southwest flow, and then there it is. I mean, that is such a strong signal, guys. I mean, look at this flow. See if we can draw on this a little bit. Some sort of low pressure right into here, and then the flow going around that low right there. You can see the wind barb right there pointing out the southwest. That means winds are getting ripped out at southwest, and then we probably have some sort of surface low that's probably pulling in winds a little bit more out the south. But this is a pretty solid signal for a lot of wind energy. Kind of next Thursday, Friday, and the Saturday, moving west to east in response to a trough digging down with a surface low developing along the base of that trough. So kinematics, then we just saw the thermodynamics. You're probably going to have some severe weather late next week into the weekend. And then there's going to be that snow side of it. This is in 3-day kind of periods, 72-hour periods, and this is starting off midway next week. And you can see where the footprint of snow is right up here into Nebraska, Wyoming, the Dakotas, up into Minnesota. To me, that's a solid signal for some sort of big-time winter storm, probably a blizzard up here. So we need to definitely monitor that and continue to watch. It's going to probably be the big storyline over the next several days, guys, so go on and buckle up. It's definitely going to be something we need to try to figure out as quick as possible. So moving past this, though, today's weather, the southeast, a little cooler behind the cold front, the storm system, and so we're going to deal with a cool day. But, I mean, as far as precipitation, besides some mountain light snow in the southern Appalachian Mountains, I don't expect much. Could wake up to a round of snow showers maybe up here in northeast North Carolina tomorrow morning, in the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee. I'm sorry, I meant to say northeast Tennessee, northwest North Carolina. So outside of that, not a whole lot going on. The northeast dealing with what's left over of the storm system. We're probably going to get a band of snow that moves across the state of New York throughout the afternoon. Could dump some accumulating snow. Kind of one last push of moisture surges up out of the Atlantic throughout Maine. Mainly rain, but as cold air catches up, backside snow in western Maine will fall later tonight. We'll just kind of get these bandings of snow throughout the New England area. Don't think it'll add up to a whole lot, but certainly could. And then here it comes again, cold air filtering behind this, and some of these areas that have had a historic winter as far as snowfall will just continue to get hit by this banding of snow off Lake Ontario that just has been relentless this winter. I mean, we're several days into March now. We're still getting lake-enhanced snow, lake effect snow, so pretty wild stuff. So I'll probably wake up to that kind of south of the Tug Hill Plateau, maybe like Syracuse getting some snow tomorrow morning. The south-central U.S., slow day today, but we will have to watch that system I just broke down for the areas of New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Texas as we're getting deeper into tomorrow. So the upper Midwest, a quiet day of weather, some snow showers, some energy will swing over Lake Superior. This will get some bursts of snow going across the UP of Michigan. Could add additional snowfall accumulations, and this will make it all the way into lower Michigan as just some burst of snow. Could be heavy at times, so just be aware of that, of any kind of like burst of snow. But here comes that low pressure we just broke down at the beginning of the video, bringing some snow across areas of Nebraska, South Dakota, and then that band of snow across Iowa. If you want more detail on that, definitely check out the beginning of the video. I have a timestamp up for the storm system. And then out west, that same storm system that we just broke down is sweeping across the western U.S. now, bringing the higher elevation snow, lower elevation rain, and then it will move into the plains as we start to get into tomorrow. So the temperatures, a cool day across the eastern U.S. I mean, cool even down to Florida. Definitely not very warm, but it will begin to gradually warm up. A lot of areas will be in the widespread 80s by Saturday. And then the western U.S., we're getting a surge of warm air all the way up into the eastern areas of Colorado, heck, even all the way into southern areas of Nebraska. So any kind of snow that is on the ground, we're going to get a lot of melt today. But what's wild is, some of these areas getting into the 70s, kind of in the southern high plains, we'll get maybe a little accumulating snow here in the next 48 hours. So, but that's all I got, guys. If you notice low volume in the video, I do apologize. Just not feeling 100% and don't want to irritate my throat. I feel like that my throat is going to be a little bit more sore later on. So hopefully this will pass. It's not a big deal at all. But God bless all y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. And I really appreciate, I know I say this a lot. I haven't said it in about a week, so I got to say it again. But I do appreciate people who continue to tune in, even though most of my audience is probably in the eastern U.S. and I've been talking a lot on the central plains and with the storm system that just moved through. And you can tell views aren't that high. And I don't want you guys to apologize. There's no worries at all. I mean, it's really not a big deal to me. I would say a year ago, 2 years ago, I probably would have been like, well, dang, this stinks. I'm pumping out all this information. And, my views have significantly went down. Fast forward to now, and I talked about this when I went live talking about hitting 100K. It's a totally different mindset. And it's not that I don't want the channel to grow, but I think I'm just perfectly content where this channel is right now. I really am. I'm totally at peace with it, with this stage in my life. So these slower times are fine, even though technically it's not slow. I mean, that storm system was huge. It just moved through But you can tell that, the videos just are not getting out there as much. But I do appreciate, like I said, the foundation of the channel, people who continue to tune in, support me unconditionally. Thank you to my members that continue to just be members. I mean, I have 40, 50 people who are members of the channel that just support me unconditionally. I don't have any perks to offer really, but to just show you guys a little extra love, but just thank y'all. Thank y'all for trusting me here, and appreciate y'all being on this journey of life with me. God bless all y'all. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again in the morning.